Hey you, it's CovertGoBlue, and I think it's time for Ranked Historic Brawl. I know this isn't necessarily a controversial hot takey of takes, but it's definitely something that I haven't spoken about much, and when asked about it on stream or in comments or on my Discord where there's an Ask CGB channel, I usually say that it's perfectly fine that Historic Brawl doesn't have a ranked queue because it's supposed to be for fun. But I think we've gone past the point where it's just fun. I think it's just becoming I think that there's more to it. I think it's a deeper format, and I think that it would behoove Wizards to lean into it more. Now, when Brawl first came out, they tried leaning into it on Magic Online, and that might be a big part of the problem and what is holding us back on Arena from having ranked Historic Brawl. Because on Magic Online, when Brawl became a new format and got pushed a little bit as a competitive format, it became ugly very quickly. Now, Brawl, just as a reminder, was 60 card decks using only standard card pool, and at the time, Baral, B-A-R-A-L, the mono blue commander, was legal and quickly rose to dominance, prominence, and got banned from Brawl. And you can imagine how seeing that card, that deck, over and over quickly emptied out the queue on Magic Arena, and now Brawl is the almost unplayed format. There still is standard Brawl. It exists on Arena. A few people have asked me to play it. I have no interest in playing it. There's such an awesome deep card pool on Arena that is somehow still not as intimidating as the mass of all cards like Commander draws from and Magic Online draw from. Like, the Arena card pool, I think, is this size that is both exciting and accessible right now. And that's why I think that Historic has the potential to be a good format. The problem is Historic, like all 60 card formats with up to four of a card and a banned list or a bunch of Alchemy revised cards, reimagined cards, I don't know, I forgot the term already, modified cards, whatever. It just kind of degenerates into the samey stuff over and over and over again, as 60 card of formats have tended to do. But Historic Brawl seems much more open. Now, there are definitely top tier commanders, and if there were a ranked queue for Historic Brawl, those commanders would rise to dominance very common. You know, a lot of people do currently play Kinnan and Ragavan and some of the more powerful commanders. Baral is still up there, Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, and these players clash into each other in what is already kind of a ranked Brawl queue in its way, which is Hell Queue. So if you do kind of an amazing record in Hell Queue, you know you have a super competitive Brawl deck. However, I think that there's a lot more charm and just kind of a ranked queue has the ability to, I think, take Brawl to the next level for content and for anybody who wants to play Arena in a kind of spiky way, because there's something cool about saying I got to Mythic with Yargle. Just as an example, I made Mythic with Yargle Multani. That's immediately a story that I'm kind of interested in. I want to know, what's that deck look like? And it used to be that if somebody hit Mythic with insert this card, I'm trying to even think of a good example in Standard right now, and I can't, but it used to be that if you hit Mythic with a life gain deck, I'd be like, oh, okay, how the hell did they do that? I have to see that. And nowadays in Standard, maybe it's just me, but I have a feeling it's not just me. I'm just not even, I haven't seen something that surprises me very much in Mythic in a long time. Maybe not since the Ginny G incident. And that kind of thing is just not exciting. That's not fun for Standard. And that's not fun for other formats as well. But I think that Historic Brawl holds a potential there that could be interesting. And it leans into the identity that players feel with their commanders and with their color combinations. And getting Narset Enlightened Exile to Mythic could be a really fun adventure for somebody who really loves the card. Something that isn't it's not very realistic in Standard. And to do it, you have to go through a million miles of mono red and soldiers, which is a very hard trudge to do. And I don't even seem to care very much about getting to Mythic anymore in Standard, or what my rank is once I'm there, because I'm just eager to go play anything else. And I don't think the ban fixes that. I think that this is a maturing problem for Magic Arena. I think that Arena is still the best way to play Magic, and it's definitely the best way to play Standard that I can think of. It's the best way to play one-on-one Magic that I've ever seen, and I've been playing the game since nearly the very beginning. And I don't want to lose any part of that, but it can't all be Standard, and Historic and Explorer just lean into more of the same things that I get bored of in Standard. And Arena, like Historic Brawl, offers a different format, a completely different type of game. And a good example, I would say, is looking at Gladiator or looking at Canadian Highlander. These are 100-card singleton formats that are played in a competitive manner in a 1v1 setting that are very cool. They are deep formats. They are very fun. I made a video playing Gladiator with Pleasant Kenobi. If you haven't seen that on his channel, please go check that out. And I would be down for a Gladiator queue, and I would also be down for a Canadian Highlander style queue. Like I would be down for those being ranked on Arena as well. But I think before they do that, they should consider just giving the keys to Historic Brawl. I also think there's somehow a Historic Brawl like anti-bias in the Arena team, and maybe that's just in my head. That could be unfair, but it goes all the way back to the time that we longed for Historic Brawl. We had to pay to play events. We didn't have a queue. We had to pay an entry fee to be in a week-long event to play some Historic Brawl. Then they made it a month long, and they said in an announcement once that they felt that if Historic Brawl had its own queue, it would be a dead queue. It would be an empty queue. They did not want to give us a Brawl queue, and we had to lobby for that and be like, are you crazy? And we got the queue. I mean, Historic was like this once upon a time too. It wasn't even a format for a long time. And so maybe it's because of those times. I know that at least back then, the developers of Arena and Wizards did not believe in Historic Brawl. I think it's time to believe in Historic Brawl. There is an amazing Lord of the Rings set coming, and looking through the spoilers, it looks like most of the cards, as have been kind of common lately with March of the Machine and March of the Machine Aftermath, it's a commander set. They're all commander sets now. There's like 100 some legendary creatures. A bunch of them say, you know, whenever a player or whenever all players or all opponents or each opponent, you know, there's a lot of commander cards. And I will tell you as a content creator, it is so much easier and so much more fun to play these cards in Historic Brawl than to try to make them work in Standard and be disappointed again and again. So please, ranked Historic Brawl. I think it would be awesome, and I would love to try these new commanders in a setting with some kind of fun stakes and be able to sell it in some way as content, because I think that's what's really missing. Being able to say that you hit Mythic with Narset in Latent Exile or with Yargle as your commander, I think is what is missing from making Historic Brawl a more accepted and more awesome format. And I just wanted to get this out there. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you believe, please share this video. Let's push it. Let's go. Do your thing, internet. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I'll see you in the next one. You're cool.